My Maker family, you should be watching this very late in the evening, probably even early hours of Monday. And the reason being Sundays are packed, weekends are where we do most of the heavy lifting, most of the heavy rituals. We do them on the weekends. So Sundays are packed, and I have to record this for you, and I have to get ready for class, because usually from 7 p.m. that is where we have our teachings, my makeup program, and I'm teaching the exclusive group. So every Sunday, but past weeks we've been praying like crazy. Last week we opened it up for everybody to join in. It was crazy. Tonight we about to go crazy again. Listen. I was feeding the birds earlier on, and they were telling me that energies are going to show up. Energies are waiting tonight. They're waiting for tonight's class. So it's about 1 in the afternoon, and I'm saying this before 7 p.m. for class. You understand how deep this is? So I'm excited. Tonight is going to be crazy. Everybody in the class will probably be watching this after the class. So you would bear witness exactly what happened in class earlier on at the time you're watching this, because that's when the team's going to work on it. We're going to upload. So yes, I want to continue with what I started yesterday, talking about the 7 steps that will bring you to a place of absolute liberation from all family cares, family limitations, curses, whatever it is you're dealing with. And I want you to be free. The reason we have to go through so much to get here is for you not to go through the same thing. So with all the experiences that I've gathered over the years, if I'm telling you something, you better believe it. This is the second step, the second thing you have to do if you are trying, or if you want to completely break free from all ancestral curses. Step number 2, here we go. You should understand this fact. We have to revisit all the ancestral scrolls. You have to know all the ancestral scrolls before the fall of our spiritual science. Not all ancestral practices, or not all of our spiritual science have been done in a sacred sense, or not all of them are holy. Some of them were awful, we know. Some of the practices that our people got into. Sometimes the rest of the world makes it feel like these people don't know how ancestral practices are, how spiritual science practices. This is evil. This is leading to your doom. As if we are ignorant of the fact that there's been a lot of craziness in spirituality. Even till date, people are doing a lot of craziness in spirituality. People are doing a lot of wicked stuff. One thing people don't understand, there's a difference between evil men or evil. Let me not even put a man there. There's a difference between evil and the gods and the energies. Evil is just what men do. It's a definition of man given to classify a particular behavioral pattern of men. Men are the ones that are evil, not energies, not science, not nature. So because men are evil, we would find evil men in spirituality. We'll find evil men in the churches. We'll find evil men in the mosques, in the temples, in the Eastern religions, in Islam. We'll find evil men everywhere, because men are just evil. They just find ways and means to bring themselves into a perfect state of chaos, of evil. Or they breathe evil, they do evil. All they want to do is evil. All they want to do is destroy something. We know. This is why you'll be very naive to think that every single one of our sacred science have been done sacredly or holy. No. They've used our science for a lot of dangerous stuff that should have never happened. So what you want to know is understand the script, understand the scrolls before the fall. What was the practice before the fall? Not the tradition you've come to meet. I tell people, I don't practice tradition. What I practice is science. I am not traditional. I am a scientist. It's evolving. So I am not here to repeat the same wickedness of my fathers. It would be naive for me to stand here today and say everything our ancestors did is pure. No, that's ignorance. Some of our ancestors did some wickedness. It's the same way when religion came, some people in religious circles have done plenty evil. You need to understand, many of our practices were destroyed before our fathers even got a chance to purify them. So they couldn't. There's a huge gap between what was and what is. And there's a very great potential for what it could become. So when you want to break free, what you have to do is to separate what is from what was before the contamination, before the pollution, before it was defiled. What was our practices? What was our way of life? What the colonizers did was not to just remove idols from our temples. They came to disrupt codes. They came to take away codes. And these codes are what is now being applied in the modern science that we have today. They took the codes away, reconfigured the codes, and began doing something totally different with the codes. This is why, in as much as modern science can boast of all the good it has done, it is also the reason why there has been a lot of damage and distractions in our world today. The missionaries did not just offer salvation. They came to wipe clean our spiritual laws. Our spiritual laws that said you can never covet a neighbor's wife. Our spiritual laws that said you should honor your father and your mother. Our spiritual laws that said when you farm here today, move to the other side. Our spiritual laws that said you cannot go to the farm on certain days because the energies are coming to cleanse the land. Our spiritual laws that said you cannot bath in the sacred waters at certain given days. Our spiritual laws that said when you are flowing, when you are in your most sacred, potent mood as a woman, you should not go to certain territories. Our spiritual laws that says that in every moon, the woman has about 8 days to rest. Our spiritual laws that said I shall not steal, that you could leave your inheritance, doors open, inheritance in public spaces, your properties, your farm produce unattended to, come back few days later and nobody will touch them. Our spiritual laws that say that we are righteous people. Our spiritual laws that said it calls for certain positions to be able to wear certain colors, to be able to wear certain fabrics, to be able to wear certain hats, to be able to put on certain jewelries. Our spiritual laws that said you should not defile the elder. These were our spiritual laws. This is what the missionaries came to touch. Go and read Kwanyako's letter. That says that don't go and teach them about righteousness. These guys are righteous. Rather, teach them stories. Tell them tales. Tales that there is a heaven somewhere waiting for them to go. So they should leave the gold so we can come and steal them. These are the things they came to wipe clean. They didn't bring salvation, saving you from what? You've always been an eternal being. You are an eternal being. Just in case it didn't hit your ears well, my dear, my brother, my sister, you are an eternal being. You would live forever. You've always been in existence and you would always be in existence. So it is not enough to just say, I'm going back to spirituality. I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to the ways of our fathers. That is not enough. You have to go way back before the pollution. You have to go way back before they ever came to our borders. And I'm not talking about when they came to the shores of West Africa. I'm talking about all the way to ancient Mesopotamia, before ancient Kemet or Kema. Before the ancient times. I'm talking about when we left the kingdom of Amu, Atlantis, and started walking across the various coasts of the world, teaching the Indians, teaching the Chinese, teaching everybody we ever came into contact with. We literally taught the entire globe everything there is to know, the pure science. That is where you have to go back to. That's why I get worried when people are in a hurry running towards tradition. Tradition, most of the traditional practices have already been corrupted. It is the watered down version of our spiritual science. That is what you are going back to find. So go beyond that. That's why you have to have real conversations with the thrones of your backgrounds, the gods of your background. If a God is in my background and a God is coming to tell me you need to do this ritual, you need to do sacrifices, this is why this curse is happening in your life, well, I don't got a problem with that. But we need to have a conversation. It's high time you sit on tables with gods, the gods of the air dimensions, the gods of the earth dimensions, the gods of the water realms, the gods of the fire realms, the gods unknown to humanity. It is time we sit, we have a real talk with them. Having a conversation and listen. Before the pollution, what was done? What were the right things? I heard our fathers offered virgins. We are not doing that in this place. This day and age, sicknesses are coming into our communities. This day and age, the protections, the union between us and the panthers, the union between us and the elephants and the leopards and the giant snakes, this communion do not exist. We used to shift. You understand? We used to shift back in the days where we used to walk in thin air. Back in the days where we used to submerge in the water dimensions. Back in the days where we used to just walk through the earth. We used to communicate. We need to go back to the days. I'm talking about the real days before all of this got corrupted. If you're a God and you are in my background, I don't got a problem with you. But we need to do things right. Before the pollution. This is where you need to go. It's time we go back. We retrieve our sacred laws, the laws that were tied to the sacred seasons, the laws of the thresholds, the taboos, times, when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to have certain conversations, when to visit the water bodies. If these laws, which forests you do not have to go into, if these laws were in place, these guys would have never invaded our shores. People ask the question, so where were all these gods when slavery happened? When slavery happened, it was already at the fallen state. What most people don't realize is that the Egypt was not the height of our civilization. The Egypt was when all had fallen. Do you know when the real falling started? I'm talking about all the way to Amenhotep III. When Amenhotep started going into monotheism and said that, well, now we all have to worship one God. That was all the way back before the metropolitan city of Egypt, Kema. The fall had already happened. The sacred science, the codes that we had that the world do not still understand the technologies behind the foundations of the pyramids. I'm talking about those laws that defy their science today. those laws that defies their healings today, those laws that defy the agricultural science today. Back into those laws. That is the true spirituality of our fathers, not the traditions you have today. I'm talking about the invisible laws that were embedded in the lands, the invisible laws that were embedded in the water bodies. What are you talking about? The invisible laws that knew when animals will present themselves, when animals want to be used for food, when trees wants to be used for food. Those invisible laws that told us it is now the season of the mango. And the mango would come into our biological factories and come and do its work at that particular season, because that is the time the functionalities of the mango is needed in the human mechanism. But what do we find today? They've broken all the laws, so you have mangoes all year, all throughout the entire year. That is not agricultural advancement. That is a big technological glitch that is causing you to still be sick today, and their medical science cannot explain exactly what is happening to you. The real laws of the moon cycles, the real laws of the fire realms, the laws that govern how to approach birth, how to approach death, how to approach trade, business, commerce, the law that govern what prophetic is, what the prophecies are all about, the true prophetical laws. When we understood that death is not the end of it, death is only a phase. Where we understood that birth, you are coming from somewhere into this womb and leaving this womb of the mother into listen, those sacred laws, the laws that made you impossible for anybody to target, the laws that made you invincible to all their arsenals, the laws that says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, they are mighty, they are strong, they are sharp. The law that said, I had a conversation with somebody the other day. Listen, the kind of technologies that we had, it's not a conversation, it was actually in a song I did a long time ago. I'm from the city where we never use the Tommy guns. We do the magic, the next day another person gone. We take actions that are untraceable. We walk into buildings. What are you talking? That signs that the food in a bowl never gets finished. That they told you in their Bible story, the miracles of Elisha and Elijah, and miracles of Jesus feeding. These were all signs that our fathers performed. What are you talking about? Before all our rituals became demonic, our rituals were full of love and full of light and full of life and full of spirit. Our rituals were never about killing your brother or killing your sister. Growing up, witchcraft was all about eating human flesh and meeting on the trees. And this is what they told us witchcraft was about. They corrupted that. They corrupted that sacred craft. Witchcraft had nothing to do with cannibalism. Witchcraft had nothing to do with, I will show you power. Where was the power to show? Every single person around you was powerful. Every single person was doing their own thing. Yes, there is a food chain of every community. There are those who will be eating and there are those who eat. Just like the animal kingdom, like the plant's kingdom. We have the plant parasite where a seed can fall onto a branch of a particular plant, and that plant will begin to devour the entire mother tree. Those things are natural. But having the intent, the wicked intent to come after each other, it didn't exist in our spiritual science. So losing our spirituality, we didn't just lose in power. We lost in protocol. We lost in spiritual order. We totally got bamboozled of the spiritual hierarchies that exist in the dimensions. We totally forgot who was who and who did what. These are the areas that the curses are really dominating. Because some of our fathers understood the sacredness of our coming into this dimension, right? There are those of you who you only came as a water being, and that is the only thing you are supposed to do here. There are those of you who came as an earth being, and that is some of you only came to give herbs. Some of you only came to plant. You only came to build. We've lost all these protocols. This is why you do a diagnosis and they say there is a metal God behind you. Because that is the only reason why you came here. Working with metals. There's an earth God behind you. Working with the earth. There's a fire God behind you. Working with the fires. There's a water God. Working with the healings. This is why. There's a God in black fabric. Those who carry mysteries, divine mysteries, those who walk in the deepest darks of the realms. There's a hunter God behind you. Those who go ahead of you to do the necessary work even before you come into the system. There's a God that loves palm oil. Ooh. One of my favorite energies. There's a thunder God behind you. Those who are on earth to be the judges. Are you hearing me? There's a God that was installed in a calabash. Those who are the keepers of the sacred treasures. There's a God that loves the goats. Those who have the mantle and the mandate to do impossible things on the face of the earth. There's a twin energy behind you. Those who walk on earth with a double blessing and they just don't make sense. Every blessing, everything that happens to them happens in doubles. They're innumerable beings on the face of the earth doing innumerable things. Ready and willing to assist you. Listen, let me make this pledge to everybody watching. It is not possible, telling you, it is not possible for you to truly find out who you are through the spiritual diagnosis and for you to do the necessary rituals to align yourself with your true calling that you would ever beg on the face of the earth, that you would ever hustle. If guys are looking for the true cheat code, this is it right here. Do you understand what that means? When a hunter God is on your case. When a hunter God is ahead of you. Do you understand what it means when a God in black is saying, come and bless me. So that I allow you go ahead of every single body on the face. So when I say it is time to return to the original scrolls, the original covenant that was made in your bloodline, I am saying it is time to separate the corrupt from the consecrated. That which is holy is what I am working with. That which is unholy, I'm tearing that into pieces. Say, any document, any contract, any polluted contract in my bloodline, any polluted contract in my family tree, any polluted scroll that is not serving the best of interest of my family name, but is serving the corrupt nature of an evil man or some evil men in the bloodline, I tear it into pieces. I tear those papers, those contracts, those dealings, I tear all of them into pieces. And I revisit the original contract that said the men of this house are kings and the women of this house are queens. dominating everything. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Listen, don't just say, go and look for a sheet of paper. Give me something to tear. Yes. Listen, say, I tear that contract that is not favoring me. That covenant, that curse, that limitation that is not favoring me. I tear it into pieces. I tear, pick a sheet of paper and do it prophetically and symbolically. Say, I tear it into pieces because I am coming to revisit the original thing, the truth about my family. This is why I am doing my research. This is why I am investigating. This is why I'm searching everything that needs to be found. I am tearing all these things into pieces and I'm going to burn them on the fire altar and I'm going to plant it under a sacred tree. And this corrupted document would never have a say in this family again. Listen, there are some rituals that were done in your family tree that were infested by unclean spirit, evil spirit, that were infested by fear. They were manipulated. Say all those things out. Every manipulation that have gone against my family name. Anyone, any unclean spirit in the thought of human beings that use their wickedness to manipulate things in this bloodline to go their way. Oh, today it is on you. I fire that uncleanness out of my house. Some of the altars of our fathers have been defiled, but their original purpose were divine. The original purpose was sacred. There were certain sacred songs that were carrying so much weight. And these songs have now been perverted. And when we sing them now, there's no weight anymore in these sacred songs. Say, I am going to listen to the glossolalia of the dimensions. And I'm going to pick up certain melodies, certain songs, certain vibrations. Wait, am I hearing a vibration? Daka. Humya dayondo zokundo yo zaka. 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 Temya hayondo zokundo zaka. Temya hayondo zokundo zaka. Temia heyondo zokundo zaka. Temia heyondo zokundo zaka. Any ancient chant, any ancient song that was sung in my family tree, that became a hindrance, that became a snare on my family name, on my family's lineage. Hey ya dokundo zakundo zaka. I reverse all those tormented songs sung on my family name. Hey ya zokundo zakundo zaka. Hey ya zokundo zakundo zaka. I reverse every single sad song. Every single song of bitterness sang in my family name. So therefore, I will continue to ride in this bitter vibration. I change that tune. I change that tune. I change that bitterness. I change that bitter tune. Hey ya zokundo zukundo zaka. Hey ya zokundo zukundo zaka. Hey ya, I change every vibration that is working against this house. I change every vibration that is working against my name. I change every vibration that is working against my family name. Hey ya, zokundo, zokundo, zaka. Hey ya, zokundo, zokundo. I change it all. Whatever it is that I've gone against my family name by way of singing. Hey ya, zokundo, zokundo, zaka. Hey ya, zokundo, zokundo, zaka. I change it all today. You have no idea what is about to happen on the 26th. This is not a revival of imitation. This is a discernment of sacred fire. There's a fire that is lit. And this fire is saying, we are the generation that is reconstructing everything. We are the generation that is changing everything. Whatever the story is out there, whatever the scenario is out there, whatever they said out there, that is their own cup of tea. All that I know, there's this fire burning in me. And even as I speak, I see about 15 people being touched by this fire right now. Receive this fire that is burning right here in my womb, right where you are. It doesn't matter where you are on the face of the earth. As you are listening to my voice right now, let this fire hit you right where you are, and let it begin to disrupt every distraction in your lineage, and let this fire begin to burn away any wicked altar and any wicked vibration in your background, and let this fire bet the real you. Let this fire bet the real you. Let this fire bet the real you. F-way, burn. F-way, burn. F-way, burn. Whew. Whew. Maybe I wouldn't be able to finish this point. Whew. Whew. Listen, there's something I keep saying. When I settle, I've changed my confession, I've settled. But I was saying this for a long time, that when I finally settle, when I finally settle, what I mean by settle, because there are a lot of things on my heart. I want to finish the accommodation on the grounds. I want to make this place very comfortable for a lot of people, that when you travel to come home, when you come home to Mekra, you have a very comfortable place to sleep, and you have a very comfortable place to eat, and you'll be very relaxed and be in nature. And now we wait. Hey, listen, we are cooking. We are cooking. There's an army rising out of the continent of Africa. And this army is being led by sons and daughters who are not afraid of being who they are, who are not intimidated by the slurs of society, by the slurs of religiosity, who are not afraid of people calling them by names. Listen, I am born into the most sacred of all sacredness of families, a long lineage of spiritual scientists, and I am proud of all the energies around me, and I'm proud of what I represent, and I'm proud of what we're about to do for humanity. Woo! Hey, certain old altars are being broken. Even now, as I speak, certain old altars are crumbling. Even as I speak now, certain old altars are crumbling, because the new altars that are fearless point two. I don't even know if I can finish. Ah. Hey. 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 Woo. This is turning into a prayer meeting. Woo. Somebody sent me a message. Say, Osofo, I have been working. I work hard. Osofo, there's nobody who works harder than me. I work hard, but even what to pay my children's school fees with sometimes, Osofo, is so difficult, Osofo. I don't know where the money goes. I'm even afraid to touch the income that comes into the company because I'm afraid if I touch it, I won't be able to pay the bills of the company. I won't be able to pay what I break it by fire. Whatever it is that went wrong in your family background that has put you to a disadvantage. It's sad that I forgot your name. But I told you to come to the branch on the 26th. That thing that has ensured that you would remain struggling for your rest. Listen, it's sad. I just got this. You didn't come on earth to struggle. In fact, you are a billionaire in human conversation. But in the realms of the spirit, your wealth is unimaginable. And you came into that family to correct that error. This is why you've dealt with this so much and you've come to a point where you can no longer handle it anymore. And the energies have directed you to the one that knows what struggle is and can speak your language and can go deep into the ranks and uproot the cause of this disadvantage. In fact, after the 26th, see what will happen to your life. Hey, my legs are even shaking. I just came to record a simple video. This is only point 2, step 2. To go back and revisit the contracts. Because there is some pollution somewhere that is working to your disadvantage. And we must fix this. This is only point 2. Whew. Yeah. Hey! Whew. I don't know if I can finish. Let me see. It's time we revive the divine. Listen, I can't do this. It's coming. If I don't go off, it is sword. Let me leave it here. Now we go and visit. We visit what was contracted. We are reading the contract line by line. And anything on the contracts that goes contrary to my assignment, I release the fire of this house to uproot the roots of that disadvantage. Listen, I'll bring you the third step very soon. I have to go off.